ESPN heads to Rotterdam for the ABN AMRO World Tennis Tournament. Australian Open finalist Andy Murray leads the field. A jam-packed draw of top players. ATP World Tour 500 Tennis. Quarterfinals live Friday on ESPN. ESPN, your NBA destination. The hard-court wars roll on when the Chicago Bulls storm into Utah to battle the Jazz. Bulls, Jazz, live today on ESPN.
This is not any league. And here's another screamer of a shot. Oh, it's a brilliant goal. That was stylish. This is the League of the Stars. Don't miss Spanish football this weekend on ESPN and ESPN HD.
The Green Bay Packers are the champions, and the Lombardi Trophy is going home to Titletown, capping one of the greatest postseasons for any quarterback. Super Bowl MVP Aaron Rodgers led the Pack to their first NFL championship in 14 years with a 31-25 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. ESPN was proud to bring fans all over the world the excitement and drama that is the Super Bowl. Hail to the Pack, the Super Bowl 45 champions.
RBS Six Nations Rugby continues with second-round action. Game 1 winners England takes on Italy at Twickenham. Then Scotland host Wales, both looking for a win. And later, Ireland faces the defending champions France. Six Nations, one crown. RBS Six Nations. This weekend live on ESPN and ESPN HD.
The Six Nations is a huge amount of history. I think it's such a close competition these days. It's going to be such a special atmosphere. I'm Gareth Delve, and you're watching ESPN's exclusive coverage of Six Nations Rugby.
It is approaching 13 years since these two teams met in a World Cup final at what was then the very new Stade de France. Who can forget that night? A World Cup final defined by the head of Zinedine Zidane. Of course, he went on to define another World Cup in a very different manner with that same head. But 13 years ago, it was all France. It was all mystery as well, surrounding the non-appearance of Ronaldo and then the appearance of Ronaldo. In a different era, it seems. David Luiz embodying the new Brazil, perhaps. Luiz has been made the bedrock of this new-look Brazil defence alongside Thiago Silva, the AC Milan man. Stretching in there was Philip Mexes. It's popped out the way of Lucas. He'll touch on Robinho, who's going to give chase. Dani Alves. It was a loose clearance by the French. Dani Alves taking the first shot on goal, and Hugo Lloris now rather relieved to be able to clutch on at the second attempt.
A little bit awkward. The shot just bounced a yard before him. His first touch of the game, you're going to be a little bit nervous. You can see there the close-up of the pitch. The surface isn't the best as well.
That's Adil Rami. Winning just his 7th cap tonight, apparently guilty of fouling Robinho. Not sure about that one, Robbie.
Well, I think he initially slid in, missed the ball, then he's sliding. Maybe a little bit of contact. Here's just the earlier awkward moment for Hugo Lloris. He'll recover quick enough, though.
So first set-piece opportunity of the game, Robinho, who's by some distance the most experienced member of the Brazilian squad. With 83 caps to his name. As though he's going to leave the free kick. David Luiz has taken up an interesting position right on the near post in front of the goalkeeper. Filled in towards that near post. Thiago Silva trying to get on the end of it. It's
Rami again at the near post with a very important header, just looped it over the top of the crossbar. Early pressure for Brazil.
Hernandez, who's been one of the revelations of the season in the Italian Serie A for Lazio, bending in the corner. Big header by Alou Diarra to get it away. Retrieved by Dani Alves, keeping Brazil on the front foot. Encouraging start for Mano Menezes' team. It's all been played in the French half of the pitch so far. Here's Lucas, lofting it into the area, but much more comfortable take this time for Lloris. And gets the French on the move.
Oh, just got to try and put 2 or 3 passes together. France so far, they've had nothing yet. Very early, I know, but Brazil have started particularly quickly. Just trying to check out the formation. There you see Robinho there in a high position. Alexander Pato is the highest central striker.
Malouda and Abidal combining down the left for the French. Here's Benzema peeling away. Taking Thiago Silva with him. Malouda. No foul. Referee had a good look at it. For Malouda. Grew up in a country that borders Brazil, French Guiana. I mentioned during the week that he'd like to finish his career playing in Brazil. After he's done with Chelsea, which I would suggest will be some time yet. Quite strange that both these countries come together, both entering a rebuilding phase. It's the French who are building an attack here on the right-hand side with Menez. Sanya joining the fray. Challenge header away for Dani Alves.
What's good to see already, Adrian, is the tempo of the game. I mean, it doesn't look like a friendly match. It looks like both teams have come to play.
Malouda would like to have that one back. Really didn't catch hold of it, and he's more than capable of launching blistering efforts from distance.
Well, I like it as well when he usually starts on the left-hand side, but drifts in field. He's very clever, intelligent, knows where the space is, knows when he can turn and face forward and take a shot.
Every World Cup final since 1994 has featured one or both of these sides up until South Africa this past summer. Brazil falling at the quarter-final stage. France imploding in such dramatic circumstances, not even making it out of the group. So they come in ranked number 4 in the world, in Brazil's case number 19 in France. They've slipped all the way down, one behind the United States at the moment in the latest FIFA World Rankings, 3 behind Slovenia. Hernandez. Bring Andre Santos into the build-up. Stolen on the way, though, by Umvila. And Umvila, one of the new breeds. And his endeavours ultimately lead to a corner. Yoann Gourcuff will be a lot of inspection of his progress tonight. Yoann Gourcuff under the microscope. He's a little out of sorts, out of form in the French First Division for Lyon. Corner from Malouda, here towards Rami. But the breakout could be on here for Brazil. Gourcuff standing firm with the tackle. Laurent Blanc found he had to defend himself in his selection of Yoann Gourcuff. But Robbie's saying, I don't have any pet projects. He had previously managed Gourcuff, hadn't he, with Bordeaux. Suggested he was showing some favouritism. But
well, obviously knows him very well, doesn't he? And let's face it, Gourcuff is a fantastic player. Yes, he's having a bit of a bad time at the moment, but even so, he's only 24, so really it could be the future of the French national team as well.
Benzema, all action early on. And appreciating his efforts Been a bit of a puzzle, isn't it, Karim Benzema's league form for Real Madrid. He has been scoring goals for the Merengues, but in cup competitions, the Champions League and the Copa del Rey.
Well, there should be a little understanding, shouldn't there, between Alexandre Pato and Robinho. Obviously now teammates together at AC Milan. There's other great strikers at that football club as well. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is there. Antonio Cassano is a recent acquisition as well. So there's been a bit of rotation. You've got to think that Robinho and Pato should get on fine up front in this one.
It's Pato coming back to steal it away. Malouda. Clever play from Rami. Who plays with Lille, who were the surprise package this season in the French First Division. The leaders at the moment. She already signed a contract to move to Valencia next season. This is Benzema now, and Karim Benzema! Just the wrong side of the post. Gourcuff it was who teed him up deliciously.
Well, you're asking why he was in the team. That is a magnificent world-class first-time ball into Benzema, in between defending players. Great weight on the pass as well. And Benzema just had to turn on the ball and volley it, and really, he should have done better. Should have made Julio Cesar work.
Good passage of play this for the French. Rami weaving his way through traffic. And Jeremy Menez is well tackled on the far side. Elias, the new boys in the Brazilian squad too, winning just his 4th cap. All roads leading to 2014 for Brazil. Will host the next World Cup, and failure will not be an option after 2 relatively disappointing tournaments. Here's Mano Menezes.
Just love this ball though. That is a fantastic pass. I think it just catches out Thiago Silva and David Luiz. Just the quality of that through ball.
Robinho. Pato was lurking, ready to make one of those darting runs. The ball was beyond him though.
Not quite right. See Pato there, he's looking for a little ball in behind and just applauds the effort there. Good open game though. Brazil, as we expected, plenty of attacking footballers out there. Think of Hernandez, a real technical player. Lucas really is the only defensive-minded midfield player out there. Number 5 is playing very deep.
Now Menez. Gourcuff would have been the beneficiary. Already really good tempo, good feel, wide open approach from both teams to this friendly early on. Dani Alves, the cross was quelled by Adil Rami.
Well, he's trying to find Renato Augusto there through the middle, number 10. Just a little sloppy for me, Dani Alves there. He had a couple of good options in front of him. Just a little bit more concentration on that final pass. Might have connected.
We talked about all the young players in both teams. Renato Augusto is actually the only player making his official debut today, though. Plays for Bayer Leverkusen in the German Bundesliga. Bit of a birthday present for him as well, getting called up. Turned 23 yesterday. Hernandez. He spilled. Made his debut way back in March of 2008. They didn't play again until that friendly against the United States in August in New Jersey. This is Renato Augusto. Pato looking to get involved. Some tenacious French defensive work though. Mexes. France famously, of course, suspended all 23 players involved in the World Cup fiasco. Here's Pato. Oh, he's curled it. Not far over the top from Alexandre Pato.
I just like his position here, Adrian. He's pulled away from the central defenders, give himself an angle to receive the ball and face forward. That's the key. He doesn't really want to play with his back to goal too much, just gets underneath the ball a little bit too high. He's trying to bend this into that top corner.
It's an all AC Milan attack, isn't it, for Brazil, as we look at the man who defined the World Cup final here 13 years ago. Zinedine Zidane's headers leading to that 3-0 win for the French. Actually, France are unbeaten in 5 games against Brazil, dating all the way back to 1992. So Brazil have too many bogey teams when it comes to world football, but it's fair to say the French might be one of them.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, the scene of that crime so many years ago now, the World Cup final. I'm not sure whether it's going to be preying on the mind of too many people in this Brazil national team, but certainly the media and the fans will remember that day. Oh, what a good player he was, wasn't he? Zinedine Zidane, one of the all-time greats, really, in this sport. Fantastic talent, ability for a big man, control on the ball. A superb footballer.
David Luiz. On the run, Andre Santos, the left-back. Challenges flying in. Got the feel of an international friendly, Robbie. Sometimes teams can play 75–80% effort and pace, but there seems to be none of that tonight.
No, and it's great, isn't it? I think a couple of factors for me, really. I think the fact that it's in the middle of these are all European-based players out there. In the middle of their seasons, they're going to be in tip-top condition physically. I think maybe the climate as well in Paris is going to be not too hot. I think everything's going to be conducive to a lively game of football.
Luda, a really sharp turn. Unfortunately for him, he ran right into Dani Alves and is still feeling the effects. It's a new year and a new look for both these teams, Robbie. They're both wearing new jerseys tonight. I've been told the jerseys have been made from a special recycled polyester. It equates to about 8 plastic bottles in each jersey. So I don't know how they do in this sort of climate.
The French ones are very tight, aren't they? Figure-hugging shirts they are.
Last meeting between these two nations, by the way, was that World Cup quarter-final in 2006, won by Thierry Henry's goal as Philippe Mexes makes a stout challenge and tries to follow up, leaves little afters there as well.
Well, this was a very typical Philippe Mexes challenge, the first one. Pateau's got the ball, he's running at him, and Mexes doesn't really have a player to jockey or to go back. He'll make a challenge straight away, he will lunge in.
A bit of a miscommunication there between Pateau Renato Augusto. Laurent Blanc, the French coach, called this the ultimate test for his reconstructed, recalibrated team. As we showed you pre-game, have put together 4 straight wins. 3 of them in competitive games too. Pateau on the move. He's judged to have been impeded.
Well, he's been lively. Good movement, he's pulled away sometimes, he's come deep to receive the ball at other times. Again, to do that very thing, to turn and to run at defending players. They really have dominated in terms of territory, haven't they, Brazil? We've seen the play in this half a lot more than the other half.
Dani Alves might be fancying it from this sort of range. He scored a couple of goals back in October in friendlies against Iran and against the Ukraine. The man they call the Road Runner, Barcelona fullback, set to hit this right-footed, just flicked off. Tallest head in the wall, behind for a corner.
And the wall jumps, It's Gorkuf on the end who just gets ahead on it, flick it over the top. Not a great wall, by the way, is it? If he hits that with power straight through the wall, it might have got a deflection, could have been dangerous.
Hernandez looking to run some of that heavy artillery. He succeeded in finding Vila. Andre Santos back out to Hernandez, much deeper delivery, way too deep as it turned out. Scored a goal last weekend, Hernandez, for Lazio against Chievo, taking to 6 for the season already.
I like him as a footballer, very technical. Just got an example there of how two-footed he is as well. He hit the corner in with his right foot, and then he's happy to hit it in with his left foot. I think he's predominantly left-footed, Hernandez, but he's very happy off either side.
Mano Menezes, the 48-year-old coach of Brazil. It's about him trying to recalibrate this side. Britain blending in a lot of youngsters, trying to blend in some attacking freedom. Says forced to clear in a hurry. Dunga was more conservative, relied more on veterans. More of a counter-attacking game, perhaps. Menezes trying to reinstitute some of the old Yogo Bonito.
Yeah, possibly, and I think, you know, you've got to look to the future, and I think you have to look to the World Cup in 2014, and a lot of those players, the veterans, aren't going to be around. They're not going to be in top condition to play. He's got to look at youth, and we've certainly getting a look here at some young players for Brazil. I think you look at the central defenders of Brazil, and you look at David Luiz and Thiago Silva, two players, in my opinion, that are very, very good players at a good age. Silva 26 and Luiz 23. So, you know, I think those two, I think the more they can play together for Brazil, the better.
Well, if he'd been born in a different country, an English-speaking one, his name would have been Larry White, Robbie. But I think Laurent Blanc carries a bit more gravitas with it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just think he's the right man at this job, at that particular very difficult time, obviously after the World Cup and replacing Roman Domenech. I just think he is low-key, quietly spoken, likes to play good football, and again he's given youngsters a real try.
Laurent Blanc in the picture, taking over in July, replacing Raymond Domenech. 20 minutes in at the Stade de France. Still goalless, but plenty to enjoy. It's international friendly on ESPN. Enjoying our coverage. Adrian Healy with Robbie Mustoe alongside. Argentina have taken the lead against Portugal. A game that's been called Messi against Ronaldo. It's Angel Di Maria who is making the noise so far.
Oh, good for him. He's a player that often doesn't get the big headlines, does he? He's at Real Madrid right now, and not one of those top names really at that football club.
Lucas at full stretch. Brazilian number 5 in his 4th season with Liverpool. He said it took him fully 2 years to adapt to life in the Premier League. He struggled to win over the fans initially, didn't he, at Anfield, but certainly done so now. Lucas may be in action here because Sanya is venturing forward with intent. Malouda able to keep possession temporarily until David Luiz, his Chelsea teammate, his new Chelsea teammate, dispossessed him.
Yeah, he did, and then give him a couple of shoves as he ran past him. Very strong player, David Luiz. You see here a couple of times he's going to reach over, get out of my way, I'm coming through. A couple of times he did that.
It was one of the sagas of the January transfer window, wasn't it? On again, off again. Then back on, David Luiz finally moving to Chelsea. The last day of the January transfer window from Benfica.
Yeah, I think it's a great move for Chelsea. I know it's a lot of money, but I've seen him quite a few times for Benfica, and I was very impressed with his all-round games. You see here, very comfortable to come out with the ball.
$21 million Chelsea paid for his services. Robinho, who's picked up a few dollars in transfer fees in his long career. Doing very nicely for AC Milan. Ronaldinho and Pato. 1-2 for club and country. Renato Augusto. Is there a blockage there? There was from Malo Diarra, the French captain.
Yeah, Dani Alves it was, in a typical, non-typical right-back position there for Alves. Right in the middle of the park, a clever little nutmeg, wasn't it, on Diarra?
Hugo Lloris trying to get his wall constructed. That's a little better than the last time that Dani Alves was lining up free kicks. Still only 3 men in that wall. Some distance from goal. Dani Alves is going to leave this one. So to Hernanes, they play it short in the end. Something a little different from the Brazilians. Didn't quite work out though, did it? Dani Alves. Nice near side. Hernanes in retrieval mode, and Thiago Silva now.
Let's see what the French can do with it. They're in this mode at the moment, aren't they? Where they can't get out. They can't string 4 or 5 passes together to alleviate the pressure at the moment. Brazil are all over France. Maybe now they can just take a little bit of composure on the ball, find the right pass. That's not the right ball. Back in possession of the Brazilians.
Luis. Andres Santos. He's at left back, plays his club football in Turkey. Fenerbahce. Touch for Julio Cesar, back as the #1 for Brazil tonight. First time since that calamity in the World Cup quarter-final against the Dutch. He really went from being the #1 to the public enemy #1 in Brazil, Robbie, after that. Just about the most high-pressure position there is in world football, being goalkeeper for Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, the expectations are so high for this national team. They expect to win every World Cup, no question. And I fancy them to get to the final as well. I thought that Brazil and Spain were the best teams in the World Cup. But again, 2 quick goals, headed goals, set-piece goals, if you like, balls into the box, as Brazil's undoing.
So a big night for Julio Cesar. Tries to right some wrongs, perhaps. Generally, Mano Menezes has been ignoring any player who happens to be of a certain age, should we say late 20s and early 30s, the thinking being maybe too old to help him when 2014 rolls around. Goalkeeper is an exception to that rule, Robert.
Yeah, I can understand it. I can understand it. There's, question marks over Felipe Melo, there's question marks over Kaká, Maicon, Lucio. There's a good list of top-class international players that we don't know whether this man's going to have them involved in the national team going forward.
Yeah, you can add Lucio to that list. Juan, Kaká, incidentally, was deemed not fit enough to play him. I don't know, Robbie, you and I saw him this past weekend. He looked pretty fit, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought he looked very sharp, actually. Kaká, I know he's had his injury problems, but he's back now for Real Madrid, back in the heart of the midfield, and I was particularly impressed with the last game.
Menezes, who certainly wasn't the first choice of the Brazilian Federation to succeed Dunga. They really wanted Scolari, they wanted Muri Ramalho as well. Anyways, he was just the 3rd choice. Excellent job he's done so far. Renato Augusto, the latest beneficiary of the new regime. That pass behind him from Dani Alves. Hugo Lloris, it's a sloppy clearance. Will it be punished? Oh, it won't, because Dani Alves will come back from an offside position.
Yeah, I think in all fairness, it wasn't a ball meant for Dani Alves. He's coming back here. Obviously, he doesn't really want to receive this ball. I think it was meant for Pato from Robinho. It was a bad ball in. There's a bad clearance as well. Straight to Robinho there. He's immediately looking up to see who's in a better position.
Well, maybe it is the Ronaldo against Messi battle. Cristiano Ronaldo has equalised for Portugal. 1-1 against Argentina after Angel Di Maria. And the Argentines the early lead. Good football here from France. Stringing some passes together neatly, and then Benzema was felled. And it's the French who will have the opportunity to set up shop just outside the Brazilian penalty area. Benzema is going to need some recovery time too.
It's been difficult for Karim Benzema, hasn't it, so far? Nearly half an hour into the game now, and his team haven't had enough possession to really service his needs as a striker. He gets caught here. Nice little move that, isn't it? David Luiz, I think, knows exactly what he's doing there. Just checks off Benzema, make sure he doesn't get the wrong side of him. There's still a bit of football we've seen for a little while. Nice little first-time ball off from Benzema.
Gourcuff and Malouda, most likely candidates to take this. Benzema is up and at him again. It's Malouda left-footed, a little flick on. Always rising over the bar from Alou Diarra.
Yeah, not a great ball in. Too low, isn't it? Not really what he's wanting to do here. I think he's trying to bend this towards the back post. Obviously, he wants to get pace on the ball. He whips it in, but it never really gets the right trajectory, the right height on the ball. And it's very difficult for Diarra to do anything with that.
Julio Cesar, things underway. Sanya was being held in check there by Robinho. It wasn't just Mano Menezes who overlooked some likely candidates, though. Laurent Blanc leaving out Patrice Evra and Jeremy Toulalin. He provoked the wrath of Sir Alex Ferguson, didn't he, by leaving out Patrice Evra?
Yeah, I read the same thing, and I guess it's a little surprising. He served his, I think it's a 5-match ban he had for what happened in the World Cup. But I guess you've got Eric Abidal, you've got Gaël Clichy at left-back for France, so Laurent Blanc certainly has options. But I tell you what, I do agree a little bit with Sir Alex Ferguson. I think Patrice Evra is a fantastic left-back in good form at the moment for Manchester United.
And some more spicy challenges. This time Menez is on the wrong end of from Hernandez, but not deemed a foul. Half an hour in. It's international friendly, the first meeting between France and Brazil since the World Cup quarter-final of 2006. Is Lucas, the Liverpool man. Andre Santos, cleverly done, and still going, the left back, looking for the return pass, may come his way yet. A real spirit of adventure there for Andre Santos. Mexes got it away, and still France struggling to complete the job. Left back has been a problem spot, hasn't it, for Brazil? Andre Santos winning his 14th cap tonight seems to be the solution. But interesting, Marcelo is back in the squad as well, the Real Madrid man.
Yeah, and I thought that Menezes might give him a run out tonight. You know, Marcelo, for what he is not maybe that great defensively, he does offer his teams he plays for a lot going forward. Very energetic for Real Madrid. And Santos is the man at the moment who looks like a regular left back for Brazil.
Robinho. Oh, it's a lovely through ball. Would have been. Pato is desperately trying to stay onside. I think he managed to do so. Just.
Very close, isn't it? Very close. Lovely football from Brazil, though. Good movement, and you always associate good movement with Brazil. Just looking at Robinho, he's playing pretty much on the left-hand side, really, but he has a license to come in field, Again, to try and get in between the lines to receive the ball, get up front, try and create and score goals whenever he can. He's got good movement all over the midfield, Brazil have.
It's a completely different philosophy up front, isn't it, from Menezes? Dunga, he relied on a big target man, generally Luis Fabiano, to play off. And Fabiano was pretty productive. Pato, often overlooked by Dunga, didn't even go to the World Cup.
Yeah, I thought that was a mistake. And again, it just shows us that Menezes is looking more for the younger players to come through. Fabiano, again, one of those players that's going to be into his 30s for the World Cup in Brazil. Pato might be the man.
The more immediate target for Brazil is the Copa America, which happens this summer in July in Argentina. Brazil have a very good draw as well in the group with Colombia, Japan and Bolivia. For France, immediate competitive targets is Euro 2012, which they've started the qualification process for. Gourcuff made that move from Bordeaux to Lyon, and it hasn't really worked out for him yet. Dani Alves. Lucas keeping it alive. Robinho. Couldn't find any space at all. Alou Diarra saw to that.
Keep giving the ball away, Adrian. France, pretty much all the players have been guilty of it up to this point.
Adil Rami misjudged the flight of this, just a touch.
There's 2v2 right there. The full-backs are in advanced positions for France. It's a little bit too high, this long ball from Dani Alves there, just trying to pick out Pato in behind Adil Rami.
Now, it looks like a promising break for Brazil. The curled effort had plenty of pace and dip on it from Robinho. Just over the bar.
Well, they steal the ball back here in a good area. A lot of time, isn't it, for Robinho here? He's only 18 yards out by the end. Rami doesn't really try and close him down quick enough, in my opinion. Again, another shot going over the top from Brazil, though.
Went for a good scoring run for Brazil. Around the World Cup. Scored 25 goals in 83 appearances. And 2 of 4 options up front at AC Milan, Robinho and Pato. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is there as well. Antonio Cassano too. Now Gourcuff, after Benzema had won the tackle. Menez was flattened. And the foul is given against Dani Alves.
Well, that might be what it takes for France to get involved a bit more. Come out of their comfort zone. Jeremy Menez on the right-hand side, you see here, switched right across to the other side to try and get involved in the game, to try and make something happen to affect the flow of the match, because at the moment it's been Brazil going one way and France really having done very little. Maybe a chance now to get a good set piece.
Gourcuff try and ask some questions here with the Brazilian defence. Well, didn't quite have the angle right, did he? Easy claim in the end for Julio Cesar.
I think this is a good ball. I just think it's a little tight, the angle, but I think if Benzema, I'm sure as a player before him as well, would have made a more of a positive run to the near post, they might have got a bit of joy there. It wasn't a bad ball in for me.
Eric Abidal. There's a normal left-back role for his country. He played in the centre of defence for Barcelona in the last couple of weekends, deputising for the injured Puyol. Deputising very effectively.
Yeah, he really did. What a great game there at centre-back. What a good player to have at the football club, isn't he, Abidal? Vastly experienced, still got good pace, can play as a centre-half or a left-back.
Malouda. Malouda, needs to be called flow. He's caught in full flow there by Thiago Silva.
There's a lot of free kicks Brazil are giving away all the way through this first half.
Appreciating the sentiments from Mvila, Jan Mvila. Didn't quite make the cut for the World Cup squad. He was in the initial 30-man squad for Dominic. One of the last players cut, Mvila.
Yeah, lots expected of this player, only 20.
Former French under-19 national team captain. Plays for Rennes. Sanya with the giveaway, and he may be needed because very quickly the action has switched to the other end. Pato against Mexes. Mexes held his ground and won the ball.
Well, another one. And I've seen this so many times from Philip Mexes, and again it's well timed. There's no question about that at all. But just when Pato and the other players start to realise how he defends, he lunges in, he goes all out for a challenge and a tackle. Here's another all-out challenge in the middle of the park here.
Oh, the red card has come out. Not often you see a sending off in an international friendly, but Hernandez had his studs raised, connected with the chest of Karim Benzema, who went down.
It's reckless, I suppose, Adrian, yes, and dangerous, very high, aggressive challenge on Karim Benzema. Lucas can't get to him, and Hernandez thinks he can do that and get away with it. I think, knowing Hernandez as a footballer, he's not this type of player, but that is serious foul play. And I guess, on looking at it again, you can't argue with that, can you? Studs through the chest there, that's not good.
It was almost a half-hearted, lazy lift of the studs, wasn't it, from Hernandez? He's trying to argue there was no real intent, and maybe there wasn't, Robbie, but is the referee right in pursuing the letter of the law down to the nth degree here?
Well, being a friendly game, and I'm gutted because this is going to change the game, obviously. It's going to be an 11 v 10 situation. Maybe give France a little bit more chance to get some possession. There's again that lunge in from Philip Mexes, and he times it correctly. It's just a daft challenge, isn't it, more than anything else? A stupid challenge. Again, he's not that type of footballer, and in a friendly, I'd love to have seen the referee just have a word with him and caution him, obviously, but I don't know whether you want the letter of the law or let players get away. That sort of thing is a crazy challenge.
Well, he's got to be absolutely distraught. He's had to patiently bide his time. He made his debut nearly 3 years ago, got another look against the United States in August, and then had to wait for this opportunity to win his third cap. And it ends prematurely. And as you say, we've seen quite a bit of Hernandez this season in Serie A. He's not a dirty player. Competitive player, yes, but Brazil down to 10 men. Quite extraordinary, really. Can France take any sort of advantage before the break? Midfield should open up a little bit for them. In theory, Malouda trying to open up the defence, guided behind by Andre Santos.
Well, there's no excuse now for France not to keep the ball better. Pass the ball better. They have an extra man. Let's see how they can use it. Let's see what Laurent Blanc does maybe at half-time to maybe change things to make sure that France dominate the rest of this game.
Malouda. A bit of a variation from the corner. Good shift from Menez. Quite match it with a telling cross. Malouda fending off Robinho. Now Menez thought about the cross from deep and drove on for the byline. Much better effort, and Julio César at full stretch, finger-tipping it away. Well, the red card for Hernandez has led to France's most sustained spell of possession in this first half.
I think Robinho will be the player that's probably most affected from this. He was allowed to stay very high on the left-hand side, but not now. I guess he's going to be needed to help out in midfield.
Abidal guiding it down the line for Benzema. And it seems as though the last touch was off Thiago Silva. Another French corner. The Brazilian defenders don't like it.
A couple of ricochets here. It's very difficult to see actually from that angle. It might have just flicked off the back of the leg of Karim Benzema at the end, but doesn't matter now. It's a French corner.
Gourcuff whipping it in. And catching practice for Julio Cesar. 3 months out with injury, Julio Cesar. He's really back in the team with Inter. Mexes. Dare I say it, some Brazilian footwork by the French centre-back. Crowd loved it. Benzema. Malouda. Promising for France. Until Dani Alves stepped in. That was tenacious defensive work from the Barcelona man.
Yeah, very good defensive work. I think Dani Alves knows all along here where Florent Malouda wants to go. Where's his strength? His strength is his left foot. Dani Alves is just waiting for him to move the ball to his left-hand side and almost reads it. Great defending from Alves.
Quick look at Aurelio Gomez, who's the number 2 goalkeeper in the Brazilian squad, the Spurs man.
Good save this, goes at it with his fist, doesn't he? Julio Cesar's not trying to catch a ball or palm it, he's just trying to get it away from that 18-yard box.
I hope you're enjoying our coverage today on ESPN. It's an international FIFA midweek date with a lot of good-looking meetings. We'll show you some highlights from some other games at half-time, so make sure to stay with us for that. We've got Germany against Italy, Denmark against England. The Dutch also in action. We'll bring you all the goals that we can. Half-time here at the Stade de France. We're into stoppage time. Laurent Blanc, lost in thought. Just wondering what he's going to say to his troops at half-time. Has to be relatively pleased, doesn't he, Laurent Blanc?
I think he is, yeah. I think there was a little bit of difference in quality. I thought the first half an hour, Brazil really did boss the game in terms of possession, but they didn't really create anything too outstandingly good, did they, Brazil? A couple of shots that went over the bar. So maybe Laurent Blanc will be happy enough that France, even though they didn't control possession for that period, they didn't really look like conceding. And now quarters a different game, and it's a different mindset now from the French players. Can they turn a defensive performance into an attacking one in the second half?
Well, plenty of cohesive attacking work from both sides. Rather unusually a red card as well, but we arrive at half-time here at the Stade de France, still awaiting the first goal of this encounter. France 0, Brazil 0. Here's the score. Stay with us throughout the half-time interval. Goals coming away from Germany against Italy, Denmark against England, the Dutch in action against Austria. We'll dig around and see what we can come up with here. 0-0 here at the Stade de France.
Salo from Sportingbet here. I'd like to say something to all those punters who have to be somewhere else when your favourite sport's on. Shame about that. But the good news is, wherever you are, it's easy to have a bet on your mobile with Sportingbet. And yes, punters, your winnings are in your account in under 5 minutes. I say there's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
The new Virgin Flyer credit card is here. If you want to get flying faster and enjoy free flights every year, you'll want one. And with this exclusive TV offer, now's the time to apply. The Virgin Flyer credit card gives you 4 free flights a year every year. Just use your card to buy a seat on Virgin Blue and get a second seat free up to 4 times a year. Plus, everyday purchases earn you Velocity points to fly on Virgin Blue. You can also get a low 2.9% per annum for 6 months on balances you transfer from other credit cards. If you apply now, you'll also receive another free Virgin Blue flight. So apply now to get 4 free flights a year every year, Velocity points on everyday purchases, a low 2.9% per annum for 6 months on balance transfers, plus another free flight when you first use your card. Apply now, but only on 13 21 33 or at virginmoney.com.au/TV.
The Suns are back. Season 1 was all about power. Season 2 was all about turf. In Season 3...
You took my son!
all hell will break loose.
Because we are going to find him.
The mother of all series is back for a 3rd season.
Where the hell is my kid?
Sons of Anarchy 3 premieres February 20, exclusive to Showcase.
Don't think about tomorrow. Think about
no pain, no gain.
I hang up my cleats.
We won the championship.
I felt I was alone sometimes.
I remember growing up in London playing soccer all the time. Manchester United, Man City, Blackburn Rovers, Arsenal, all those are my teams, man. So I had a good time with it. I still follow them to this day. OCU Manyora, New York Giants. Nigeria was just, it was so much fun. We had this little goal that we manufactured and we put it up against the tree. I know we were just playing basketball and soccer and that was pretty much it. We'd run, everything was like a competition. Or we'd like put some stuff in our hands and we'll go up to a white wall and jump and touch the white wall to see who could jump the highest. You know, just little things like that. Yeah, I go back now every year. And I think, you know, that's where I'm from, that's where my culture is from, and, you know, there's no place like home. Obviously, you know, America has embraced me, and I love it over here also, but in the long run, I have to go home.
Welcome back to the Stade de France, just north of Paris. France 0, Brazil 0 on the big day of international friendlies around the world. No goals to show you here, but other goals to bring you. Start in Dortmund with Germany against Italy, rematch of that classic semi-final in 2006. Not going the same way, though. The Germans are in front, and it's Miroslav Klose who's put them there.
What a nice goal, by the way. What great build-up play. Thomas Muller there crossing for a very clever move from Klose. He keeps going on and on, doesn't he, scoring goals.
No interest in this game, Robbie, of course. Denmark against England from Copenhagen, and Denmark in front, Robbie. Daniel Agger, 8 minutes in.
Well, no interest in that goal, I'm afraid. A goal against England there. Great ball in from Eriksson. Good header from Danny Agger.
But it was a lead that lasted only 2 minutes. Jack Wilshere and Theo Walcott involved in the build-up to the equaliser. And Darren Bent prodding home from close range.
Darren Bent doing what Darren Bent does very well, being in the right place at the right time. Easy tapping. Great work on the right-hand side there from Theo Walcott.
I can tell you that England lead 2-1 in that game. Ashley Young has put them in front. And finally, we'll take you to Eindhoven. The Dutch against Austria, and how about that? That's the goal of the night so far from Wesley Sneijder.
Wow, what a goal that is from a fantastic player, Wesley Sneijder. Brilliant individual goal.
And the hunter, the big game hunter, Klaus-Jan Huntelaar, nodding home a second. Looks to be plain sailing for the Dutch, doesn't it? This is the scoreboard, including some full-time results. Quite a game in Romania. Romania 2, Ukraine 4. Ukraine will be one of the co-hosts of the next European Championships. Some of these games actually are played yesterday. Games on Tuesday and Wednesday. Croatia against Czech Republic. We saw a bit of that earlier on. Robbie, 4-2 to Croatia, that finished.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many games here. It's a FIFA International week where teams will try and build for the future.
1-1 between Argentina and Portugal. That Ronaldo against Messi encounter in Geneva, Switzerland. And goalless so far, the world champion Spain playing at home at the Bernabeu against Colombia. ESPN 2, ESPN Deportes, the places to go for Arsenal against Wolves as the English Premier League returns. That's this Saturday. You get a bit more of a lie-in as well. 9:55 a.m. Eastern. Arsenal against Wolves at the Emirates. So the big Manchester derby to look forward to as well in the EPL this weekend. We'll recap the key moments from the first half here next.
Salo from Sporting Bet here. I'd like to say something to all those punters who have to be somewhere else when your favourite sport's on. Shame about that. But the good news is, wherever you are, it's easy to have a bet on your mobile with Sporting Bet. And yes, punters, your winnings are in your account in under 5 minutes. I say there's no better bet than a Sporting Bet.
The new Virgin Fly credit card is here. If you want to get flying faster and enjoy free flights every year, you'll want one. And with this exclusive TV offer, now's the time to apply. The Virgin Fly credit card gives you 4 free flights a year every year. Just use your card to buy a seat on Virgin Blue and get a second seat free, up to 4 times a year every year. Plus, everyday purchases earn you Velocity points to fly on Virgin Blue and its partner airlines. You can also get a low 2.9% per annum for 6 months on balances you transfer from other credit cards. Imagine what you could save in interest. Apply now, but only on 13 21 33 or at virginmoney.com.au/TV. If you apply now, you'll also receive another free Virgin Blue flight. That's right, another free flight when you use your card. So apply now to get 4 free flights a year every year. Velocity points on everyday purchases, a low 2.9% per annum for 6 months on balance transfers, plus another free flight when you first use your card. Apply now, but only on 13 21 33 or at virginmoney.com.au/TV.
This car is so fast, its top speed is 407 kilometres an hour. That's Sydney to Melbourne in just 2 hours. Bugatti Supercar, February 22 on National Geographic Channel.
ESPN heads to Rotterdam for the ABN AMRO World Tennis Tournament. Australian Open finalist Andy Murray leads the field. A jam-packed draw of top players. ATP World Tour 500 tennis. Quarterfinals live Friday on ESPN. ESPN, your NBA destination. The hard-court wars roll on when the Chicago Bulls storm into Utah to battle the Jazz. Bulls, Jazz, live today on ESPN.
Shot, counter. The dunk right at his face. My goodness. It is a feeling like no other. That fills arenas where magic happens. Follow the thrills all season long across the USA. Welcome to the madness. College basketball is right here on ESPN.
I think we mentioned there'd been a second English goal in the game against Denmark. I think we did, didn't we, Robbie? It came from Ashley Young midway through the second half.
Oh, good for him. Doesn't get too many chances with England. One of the young players in the Premier League that's playing very well. Got his chance for Capello. It's good for him to score.
We'll go back into the Stade de France. Half-time here. No goals to report. Certainly plenty of action. Let's have a look back at some of the key moments of the first half. 9 minutes in, Karim Benzema going to pick up where he's left off in recent internationals.
Yeah, I mean, that was the best part of the first half for France. What a great through ball it was, and Benzema got to hit the target from there, really.
Robinho for Brazil. Just outside the penalty area, just over the top of the crossbar.
As Diarra got caught in midfield. Quick breakaway from Brazil, just over the top.
But then an incident you don't see too often in international friendlies. Nothing particularly friendly about that challenge from Hernandez on Benzema.
No, I just don't. I mean, I don't want to see a red card for any player in a friendly game, particularly a game with two great footballing nations here. You can't do that, though, Adrian, can you? Straight leg, studs up, very dangerous. I suppose he has to go.
Is that any different to Nigel de Jong in the World Cup final?
Well, very similar, isn't it? Maybe he's even more clear, that one.
Brazil out-shooting France 4-3. 25 corners. But France will have the man advantage for the second 45 minutes, and we'd like to see a whole slew of substitutions as well. Rejoin us at the Stade de France after the break.
Barocca Performance in the convenient Twist and Go bottle was recently voted 2011 Beverage Product of the Year. Barocca Twist and Go, a healthy way to help tackle the day.
The new Virgin Fly credit card is here. If you want to get flying faster and enjoy free flights every year, you'll want one. And with this exclusive TV offer, now's the time to apply. The Virgin Fly credit card gives you 4 free flights a year every year. Just use your card to buy a seat on Virgin Blue and get a second seat free up to 4 times a year. Plus, everyday purchases earn you velocity points to fly on Virgin Blue. You can also get a low 2.9% per annum for 6 months on balances you transfer from other credit cards. If you apply now, you'll also receive another free Virgin Blue flight. So apply now to get 4 free flights a year every year, velocity points on everyday purchases, a low 2.9% per annum for 6 months on balance transfers, plus another free flight when you first use your card. Apply now, but only on 13 21 33 or at virginmoney.com.au/TV.
This is not just a sale, it's the main event. Save on latest model Range Rover and Land Rover low mileage executive demonstrators. Available with a balance of new vehicle warranty. The main event New Year's sale for a limited time only.
I've been watching this television show wondering when they're going to ask me to do it. And I'm so pleased that I'm here tonight to sing for you all.
The Max Sessions welcomes one of Australia's favourite performers, Marsha Hines, singing her greatest hits and covering the timeless songs of Carole King.
Carole King has a way of making a conversation in her songs, and the songs are poignant.
Soothe your soul with the music of Marsha Hines on The Max Sessions. Premieres Thursday, February 17 on Max.
French in blue, Brazil in yellow. Adrian Healy with Robbie Mustoe alongside in the commentary booth. Will the second half produce goals? The first half produced some interesting football. Also produced a sending off, rather unusually, in an international friendly. Bakary Sagna. A striker in his youth. Been converted to fullback. Villa. Diarra. The French starting on the front foot. And the tendency is in these international friendlies for there to be a whole slew of substitutions, Robbie. I wonder if that will be the same tonight.
I hope not, but I guess it probably will later on. I hope that the two nations do it together. Not too many stop and starts in this second half. We don't want that now. This potentially is a great game of football right now, I have to say. It's different. It's totally different now with France on the front foot.
Sagna straining to get there first, and did. Eric Abidal. On the line goes Malouda. Finds Benzema very neatly. Karim Benzema can't find any space. It does do enough to earn a corner. Hobbling a little bit as well after the challenge.
Well, Lucas is doing a good job here. Defensive midfield man for Brazil. He's right back there, just in front of those defenders to help out.
Gourcuff. Change of approach from the corner kick. And Vila's underneath this. And I don't think he got any of the ball at all. Complete air shot from Jan Vila. Actually known for his composure as well, Robbie.
He's not known for his goal scoring though, Adrian. I think we saw it there. Total whiff at the ball.
Benzema has some extra competition, doesn't he, for starting place at Real Madrid, the rival of Emmanuel Adebayor. Aluda. Good-looking cross. Benzema has peeled away. Wow. That may well have been bulleting its way into the back of the net, but Thiago Silva threw himself in front of the ball. Benzema did well to escape both the centre-backs, though.
Well, he shouldn't have had to do so well. I'm looking to see where David Luiz and Thiago Silva is. A pretty standard ball into the back post. There's two defenders there, Adrian, just to mark the one player. They get back in the end to make the block, but for me, he shouldn't be given 5 yards here inside the box. And the two centre-halves come across to make the block, but Benzema doesn't really have to do too much. He just pulls away from them and brings it down in his chest very easily.
32 international appearances and 11 goals for Karim Benzema. Goals against England at Wembley in November. Goals against Bosnia and Luxembourg in Euro 2012 qualifying back in October. Goals easier to come by on the international stage than he has in the Spanish Primera. Noticing anything different, Robbie? Menez is set up in the second half, trying to get by without Hernandez and a man down in midfield.
Well, I'm looking at Robinho's position predominantly, and he's playing still very central. And that's going to mean they're going to be a man short on this near side. And Bakary Sagna really should be in acres of space, because Robinho here is playing very centrally up there with Pato. Here it is for Sagna, and there's nobody really is going to be that close to him. So this situation, we might get a 2v1 with Menez on maybe Andre Santos, the left back. This could be an opportunity to France to attack, or for France to attack down this right-hand side. Because Lucas here is having to come all the way across, because Robinho won't really want to do that work. This man is key for France. Yoann Gourcuff. He's the attacking player. He's the guy right in behind Karim Benzema. He really can be the difference in attacking form, but he's got to get involved in the ball. He's got to find him the ball in those little pockets of space in behind the Brazil midfield players. That could be the key to the game. Again, Sagna here, acres of space on this near side.
Gourcuff really handed the keys to the engine. And shrug off indifferent league form. Blanc has described it as a mental problem for Gourcuff.
It's a good idea here. He's just a fraction, isn't he? Half of his body is in offside position. The referee's assistant there right on it. Flag up.
Some sign of activity on both benches. Cesar winning his 54th cap tonight, his first since that July exit at the hands of the Dutch from South Africa. Hugo Lloris, his opposite number, also played in all 3 games for the French at this past World Cup. For a lot of French players not being associated with the World Cup disasters proved to be a bonus. Karim Benzema is upmost in that man's plans. Laurent Blanc, so too Sami Nasri. Let's not forget about him. Only injury keeping Nasri out of the proceedings tonight.
Yeah, Valbuena is another player that's probably going to be in Laurent Blanc's plans, who's injured at the moment too.
Gourcuff into Mvila. Oh, a heavy touch allowed David Luiz to intervene. And another giveaway. David Luiz to hit the ignition here for Brazil. Pato is quick, he's tricky. He can't find a way past Rami. They say about Pato that you have to stop him in the first yard, or you're going to need 10 yards to catch up with him.
No, he's got tremendous pace, there's no question there. He's just trying to get his feet sorted, wasn't he, for the last little move, maybe a quick couple of touches in between his feet to get past Rami. Didn't happen that time.
Gourcuff on target. Not really much of a test for Julio Cesar.
Not really, particularly when he's got two blue shirts making decent runs up ahead of him. Benzema and Florent Malouda from the left-hand side made a couple of good runs. And Gourcuff's, at that point, head was down.
I think it goes from Rami. For those who made his debut post-World Cup. In every game under Laurent Blanc. Uncomfortable start it was for Laurent Blanc. Start of his reign, they lost a friendly to Norway in August, then lost their first Euro 2012 qualifier to Belarus here at the Stade de France. They lost by a goal to 0. 4 straight wins since then. Luiz just made his Chelsea debut. He came on the defeat against Liverpool in the English Premier League last weekend.
It's a good test for him now as well. I'm looking forward to the rest of this game and how he can defend against Benzema, Gourcuff and other players coming through the middle there. It's a real test for the Brazilian defenders now with a man down.
Menez, Jeremy Menez with daylight in front of him. Lucas arriving, Menez squaring it! And an easy finish for Karim Benzema. The goals are flowing for Big Benz in a French national team jersey. And France have the lead in Paris against Brazil.
Oh, we talked about this right-hand side might be productive for France, and Jeremy Menez, what a great bit of play from him. The first time, really, I've seen a French player go past a Brazilian. There it was, he burst in between the two players, and you can't do a lot more than that if you're a wide player. Look at the service there, good power, accuracy. It's too hard for Julio Cesar to grab the ball, and Benzema with an easy tap-in, and finally a breakthrough in this match.
Benzema's 12th international goal has that man facing a problem. Mano Menezes, who didn't even concede a goal as Brazilian national team boss until that late winner by Lionel Messi in the last international friendly, and his team down a man and down a goal here against France. Terrific work, wasn't it, from the Roma wide player Jeremy Menez, another who's been brought into the squad by Laurent Blanc. He is on the ball, number 14.
He's a technical footballer, there's no question about that. He's having a great time at Roma. It took him a little while to settle. It was quite a big signing, a big expectation about Jeremy Menez, but certainly now we're starting to see what he can do in Italy and again in this match.
Menez has Sagna available. Can Sagna get there ahead of David Luiz? Up for the grabs, and Benzema! Splendid save by Julio Cesar, perhaps keeping his team alive. Gourcuff won the initial header. Benzema with a bullet header on target. And it's French fever here at the Stade de France. Completely on top of proceedings in Brazil. They're looking a little shell-shocked.
Well, they're looking shell-shocked and they're looking dishevelled and disorganised. Again, a player getting down the right-hand side. Robinho's doing nothing defensively. I know why he's doing it, Menez says. He just wants Robinho to be an attacking threat. But they've got to have some protection down this side. A ball has come across there. Benzema does everything right, really. Julio Cesar, very sharp on his feet, makes a quick reflex save.
Can Brazil ride out the storm here? Malouda still up for grabs. Luiz making the all-important contribution. Real test this for the new Brazilian defence.
He's got obviously loads of options from the bench, Mano Menezes. got to think he might do something about this left-hand side. On the other side, I've got Renato Augusto in front of Dani Alves. Should be no real problem defensively for Brazil on that side. Just this near side, this left-hand side for them looks a little lopsided with Robinho playing very high through the middle.
What a huge goal for Karim Benzema. Excess had to recover quickly. Time slip leaves Eric Abidal with work to do. And on the run is Elias. That wasn't the best delivery. Robinho was open.
Lovely through ball there from Dani Alves, and he simply has to have more composure here. I mean, he's panicking that much, he slips over as he crosses this ball, but Robinho pulled away from his defender. Here we go, maybe now we're going to see a few changes from Brazil.
Well, Renato's first appearance comes to an end. And he makes way for another debutant, Jadson, who's been really shining in the Champions League with Shakhtar Donetsk, one of the surprise sides in the Champions League this season. Jadson is on a winter break in terms of his club football, hasn't actually played a game since December. He comes on to make his Brazilian debut here.
Oh, this looks like he's just slotted in the right-hand side, Jadson, exactly where Renato Augusto was playing.
Karim Benzema, who was left behind. And the blue went to South Africa. This is more good football from the French. Gourcuff. He's on another corner.
Now this time Gourcuff getting involved on the play down the right-hand side for the French. That's where they're getting their joy. That's where they're getting in behind Brazil. Time after time now.
Rami has ventured forward for this. Malouda to serve it in. After the near post flick, Lucas is there to meet the cross, and now Robinho craving some space, but none offered him. Jan M'Vila breathing down his neck. Another switch here. End up being M'Vila's last contribution to the game. So look at the goal again. Overlooked by Raymond Domenech. He seemed to be out of favour with Jose Mourinho. M'Vila making way for Abu Dhabi. Benzema is on his way here. A cutback, Karim Benzema! Another save from Julio Cesar. Benzema rampant at the moment.
Well, he could have had a hat-trick already, Karim Benzema. Think about the chance he had in the first time with a great through ball from Gourcuff. He's had various chances as well as his goal in this second half.
And again, good work down the right-hand side. Very productive area for the French. Ruiz at full stretch to deal with it. Now Robinho. Is there any way back for Brazil here? With half an hour to go, down a man, down a goal. Well, we had the ball in the French half in this second half.
I still think there's a possible way back in it.
Jadson.
So many talented players, Adrian.
Make of that last switch by the French will be Abu Dhabi coming on.
Well, it's just a straightforward switch, isn't it? Again in central midfield, Abu Dhabi, the Arsenal man, and just sitting there very much like M'Vila did, alongside Alou Diarra.
Cohesive football again from the French. Triangles, but then losing his bearings was Johan Gourcuff. Jadson. Elias on to Dani Alves says, facing one of his Italian Serie A foes in Pato. To concede the corners. The national team picture for a long time, Meg says. Made his debut as a 19-year-old. It's nearly a decade ago. This is only his 20th cap. Dani Alves. Well, you can't lose him in a crowd, can you, David Luiz? Just thinks he looks a little bit like Carlos Puyol.
What a chance it was, though, wasn't it, for Benzema to get his second goal in this game. Quick change of direction. Luiz couldn't handle it. Just doesn't get it enough across the body, does he? Julio Cesar, see what he's trying to do there. That far corner is open and gaping for him. He's just inaccurate with that final shot.
There's Abu Dhabi, who will be wanting to avoid what he did this past weekend, which is get himself sent off. And it was a red card that really completely changed the game, wasn't it? Arsenal against Newcastle. Arsenal leading 4-0. Diaby getting sent off, and Newcastle proceed to come all the way back to 4-4.
Yeah, and I think Arsene Wenger will be very frustrated with Diaby because it was a very robust challenge from Joey Barton, but even so, you can't grab somebody around the head or the neck and throw them to the ground. So he has to learn his lesson there, Diaby.
Proof doing battle with his opposite number, Elias. He's just made the move to European football for Atletico Madrid. Malouda. That says Pato in a tangle again. And the decision going the way of Pato. The yellow card has come out. To Robinho. Really a captain going in the book. It can only have been something he said.
Yeah, he must have said something to the referee. He didn't like it. Now he's got a yellow card, but it's been a tough second half for Alexandre Pato. A lot more exposed up front on his own. Less possession of his team to feed him the ball.
Laurent Blanc trying to win this game as a manager. Remember, as a player. Famously suspended for the 1998 final here, having been sent off previously in the semi-final. Jimenez, frustrated with himself, just running it out of play, but he's certainly been a pivotal figure in this second half. Benzema's goal separating the sides. And about 25 minutes to play. France, a good value for their lead, and even have extended it to this point. But Robinho has a chance to get Brazil back on track. Not taken. All sorts of space through midfield, Robbie. It's just the 5 Brazilian defenders back, facing 5 blue shirts coming at him. And Jimenez trying to force the issue.
Well, that's the way that Brazil do it. I've talked about Robinho and the fact that he's not defending on this left-hand side. There is a lot of space for France there, but it's almost like Brazil is saying, well, OK, you've got the space there. We've got Robinho in a more attacking position to counter-attack. He can be the player who can bring us back into this game. And he had a chance there just a minute ago, Robinho going through the middle. He had a bad final ball, but that's what they're going for, Brazil. They're not going to come here and just, you know, play 4 defenders, 4 midfield players and just soak it up. They're trying to get something on the counter-attack.
Jimenez caught David Luiz, who had got the better of him here. It's one of those scissor manoeuvres. Painful for the new Chelsea man. I think the pain for Jimenez is going to be a booking.
Well, it's a bad challenge. From behind, sliding in. David Luiz in full flow there. Certainly a yellow card is the right decision from the referee.
You can imagine Carlo Ancelotti, somewhere in West London, is probably holding his breath right now. It's the last thing you want as a club manager. It's for a player to get injured on international duty.
Yeah, just the way his right foot and ankle just twisted under his body, it seemed, can be very nasty, awkward type of challenge, that.
Luis looks as though he's okay. Wallops the free kick fully 60 yards. Decision's gone against Gorkush. He was suggesting it would have been the other way around. Just seem to have ridden out the storm a little here, Brazil. Wave after wave of French attacks. They really could have gone 2 or even 3 up. Didn't. Brazil still plenty to play for here.
I think he's done okay in there, Elias. Can play as a wide midfield player, or as he's done in this game as a central player. Looks very strong, reliable in possession and on the ball.
Lucas. Can be penalised. He was on the ground, may have used his hands in the process of controlling that. Two teams who've arrived at the crossroads, both trying to head in the right direction. I don't know what the reaction might be in Brazil to a second consecutive defeat. Were they to suffer it here in France? They lost to Argentina back in November. Jimenez making way for Loic Remy, the Marseille man. He's scored a goal in French colours before, scored against Romania back in October. He's on for his 7th appearance.
Well, he can play either as a striker or as a wide forward. I'm thinking that Jeremy Menez was playing on the right-hand side of a 3. Really, I'm expecting him to play there, like Remy on the right-hand side, up against Andre Santos.
And Robinho will hand off the captain's armband to someone else. Picked up a booking on his 84th appearance for his country. And now will make way for Sandro to come on. Sandro recently moved to English football. He's now in North London with Spurs. Coming on to win his 4th cap.
Oh, this is more of a defensive move. Kind of going back to what a normal team, a normal coach would try and do when they're a man down, just pack out midfield. Sandro is a defensive-minded central midfield player. Somebody's got to come on this left-hand side. I wonder if it's Sandro or maybe Lucas that might have to do this.
Sandro, who had won the Copa Libertadores with Internacional in Brazil, moving to England. Another member of the youth revolution. He's only 21. Again, Robbie, I imagine the reaction in Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo will be none too favourable if they go down to defeat again. Yes, it's only a friendly, but every defeat is a disaster for Brazil.
Yeah, obviously there's going to be disappointment. I think, you know, we can. There's still 20 minutes of the game left yet. All manner of things can happen, but the sending off obviously has had a massive impact in this game in terms of possession, chances created, and everything else. There's going to be substitutions now, which there has been from Menezes, and a reorganisation in midfield.
Malouda. Elias is getting the all-important toe end in. Pato. So much space or time to work with. Well shackled by Rami and Mexes. And all on his own up front as well. Dani Alves. Decent delivery, but hooked away. Sandro's first involvement. He's hemmed in. Chiara ends him up. Exhibition of some of the confidence surging through him. And again, very efficiently worked forward from one side of the pitch to the other. France seem to be enjoying their football at the moment. Abidal. The other side of the coin, maybe as if France hold on and win this, it will be consecutive victories against England and Brazil for them. And what a turnaround that will be just 6 months on from it was an utter disaster in South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, Laurent Blanc did talk about it taking time with the French public, but results certainly here, and big nations, England beating England, they look very impressive as well, very impressively beat England. Again, this will be a fantastic result for France. And maybe just to slowly start to build towards the European Championships in the summer of 2012 and on to the World Cup after that. There's no question France have developed great young players over the last few years, and they've had a history of having fantastic players, just haven't always come together at the major tournaments. Certainly a different midfield now. Elias has gone to the right-hand side, Adrian. Sancho and Lucas are the two holding players for Brazil. And Jadson coming across here on Sanya has moved across to this near side, maybe just to stop the flow of the attacks of the French. Gourcuff.
Benzema moving the left-hand touchline, but looking for an incision into the penalty area. It's a decent delivery too. Really hung in the air, didn't it, with an invitation attached.
I like it when Benzema comes out of the middle over to that left-hand side to drive infield, maybe take a shot with his right foot. This time, though, he's on his left. He's trying to cross the ball here, but I think this could end up being very close. It is. Julio Cesar can do nothing about it.
I think there's a message in this performance somewhere for Jose Mourinho from Karim Benzema, Robbie.
Well, there has to be, and you know, we all want Benzema to go on and do this at club level with Real Madrid. There's just something about him sometimes where he looks not uninterested, but doesn't look motivated. I think just a little bit more effort from Benzema at time for Real Madrid. Just show everybody there, including the manager, that he does want to be there, he can work hard, and he can play well and score goals.
There's certainly nothing lacking from Paulo Diarra to make amends for his initial heavy touch, but the foul committed. Symptomatic of what's gone wrong for Brazil in the second half. That free kick completely wasted. I can tell you that Giuseppe Rossi has equalised for Italy against Germany. It's 1-1 in that international friendly in Dortmund. Remains 1-0 here into the final quarter of an hour. Adrian Healy and Robbie Mustoe with you on ESPN. France, for now, continuing their dominance over Brazil. Brazil only 2 wins in the last 10 meetings between the two nations. I don't imagine there's any other nation that has that sort of dominance. Sanya. Rami to Hugo Lloris. And many have criticised the timing of this international break, Robert, and when it does, just a week before the Champions League resumes. And really, it's the only FIFA date other than one in March, between now and June. It should be Julio Cesar's, and is.
Very easy, comfortable for the goalkeeper. Far too much height on this cross from Bakary Sagna.
Next international dates March 26th and 29th. United States playing Argentina and Paraguay. A little before that, in fact, this coming weekend, you can see some Barclays Premier League action with us here on ESPN. Arsenal against Wolves. Arsene Wenger's men shrug off that capitulation against Newcastle last weekend. That will be a 9:55 a.m. Eastern time kickoff. A little bit more of a lie-in for you this Saturday. If you want to see the Manchester derby, you have to get up early for that. Lucas. Pato. Build up here for Brazil. Andre Santos is on the run. Squares it. And he'll be disappointed there was no one there to apply any sort of finishing touch. Perfect setup, really, from Andre Santos.
Yeah, it's great football. Really was good football. Andre Santos arrived at the ball with pace. Took him into a great situation. A lovely ball across the middle. Expecting Pato maybe to be in and around that cross. He wasn't. Go to Elias. Here's Benzema. Gotta make sure they don't drop off too much now, France. Maybe feeling that the game is won. They just seem to have taken a foot off the gas a tad and just give Brazil a little bit more encouragement.
Pato is offside. Jackson had squeezed it through to him.
It's good play from Philip Mexes there. The blonde-haired centre-half knows exactly what's going on there. Knows if he steps forward a couple of yards, he knows the ball is going to be played, then Pato would have been offside. It was.
And Adil Rami has really looked the part as well, hasn't he? In just his 7th international. Valencia have got themselves a good signing for next season. It'll be an Adil Rami.
Well, he's looked aggressive. He's a big guy.
Pato. Shake off Rami this time, but Mexes is there to help him out. Benzema. Intelligent layoff for Abidal. Way through traffic too. Johan Gorkov thought about the shot. Thought about it a couple of times and then laid off instead. Diaby back to Sanya. Two Arsenal men combining. Gorkov. Trying to get Loic Remy involved. He hasn't really been yet. Remy chasing back on David Luiz. Abidal covering too.
Johan Gorkov looks a little off, doesn't he? He does look a man who's not particularly full of confidence right now. He's had a couple of chances where he could have shot, and maybe should have shot and didn't, and did shoot and maybe should have passed it off.
An integral part of the Bordeaux team that won the French Championship under Laurent Blanc a couple of seasons ago. For him has been the peak. A gradual decline since then. Remember, he got sent off in the World Cup this past summer in that final game against South Africa. Here's Remy. Move down the Mediterranean coast from Nice to Marseille. Diaby losing out. Andre Santos giving it right back.
Just wonder whether we might get a look at Hulk for Brazil. Not long left now, I know, but Pato's worked very hard up there, but why not give Hulk a go in the Brazilian shirt? Hasn't got that many caps, has he? I think just 2 caps for Hulk. We'll have to see him for Brazil out here tonight.
Sure, lots of Brazilian fans would share those sentiments, Robbie. He's been scoring goals for fun in Portugal. There's Hulk. No sign of any activity yet on either bench. Maybe we're not going to see as many substitutions as we normally do on these sort of occasions.
Finding it a little harder now, Brazil, just to find a way forward, really. It's a nice little movement from Alias to try and get himself free in some space. Gradually work the ball forward. That's the plan of Brazil.
Dani Alves. Andre Santos. Normally is for the tempo to slacken a little. It's 15 or 20 minutes of an international friendly. But here's Pato. It's a sharp touch. Oh, and he almost had it back. So nearly had it back. And Mexes. It's been a one-man wrecking crew at the back for the French defence. Here's Benzema on the prowl. Carrying Benzema. That's clever. And then he slipped right at the vital moment. Remy was wide open as well at the far post.
Well, I have to say, Karim Benzema has been everything you want him to be as a centre-forward. What a clever little nutmeg there through the legs of David Luiz. And unfortunately for France and for Benzema, he slips over. But I tell you, his performance in this game has been excellent. Right from the first whistle up to this point now, Benzema could have scored more goals. Got an easy tap-in, I guess, in the end. But really up against two decent centre-halves in Thiago Silva and David Luiz. He's looked, you know, every bit the player I'm sure Mourinho wants to see at Real Madrid.
It's going to be fascinating, to say the least, to see how Jose Mourinho handles the Benzema-Adebayor situation at Real Madrid. Adebayor certainly looked the part, didn't he, in his full debut last weekend. Here's Dani Alves looking the part, still going. They call him the road runner. He was almost a slalom skier there, Robbie, winding his way through traffic.
He's going to go all the way there, Dani Alves, an amazing run right through the centre. And a free kick here on Florent Malouda. Earlier chance there of Santos. Nobody there, was there? Pato just a little late on the scene. Oh, here we go. Here's my man. He must be listening to me. Man in this.
Just what you asked for, Robbie. We are going to see Hulk. A name not to forget, is it? Well, can you put in 6 minutes plus stoppage time? Not to forget here. It's just his third appearance for Brazil. He scored 27 goals in all competitions for Porto in Portugal this season. Carrying Benzema, he's going to get a hero's reception here as he leaves. To make way for Kevin Gamero. Right for Benzema. Christian Carambo is up there alongside Zinedine Zidane, looking on. You used to play with him, Rob?
Yeah, it's my teammate, Christian Carambo at Middlesbrough years ago. What a lovely guy he was. Great man. Won everything in the game. Champions League for Real Madrid, the World Cup with France. Lovely guy as well.
I think Zinedine Zidane thought you might have played with him too.
No.
Kabay also on for Gourcuff. How would you rate Johan Gourcuff's evening? There was a lot of focus, a lot of attention on him.
I guess, in one word, awkward. I didn't think he looked comfortable, really. He looked like a man who's not particularly confident right now. I love the way he plays, Gourcuff, I really do. It just wasn't quite his night tonight. I thought it was going to be really at the hub of everything attacking-wise for France, and a few nice touches, but generally not really a great game for Gourcuff.
Kevin Gamero, who's just come on for France. Played 11 minutes in that defeat against Belarus back in September. This is second cap. He's And in form as well, 5 goals in his last 3 games for Lorient, in the French First Division. Hulk trying to get his first touch. Kabay. Also a member of that surprising Lille side, Johan Kabay.
Gets undone then by a little bit of change of direction from Dani Alves. Haven't seen Alves so much, have we, in this game after sending off in terms of steaming forward from that right back position. He's had to stay back there and defend for the second half pretty much all the way through.
Plus stoppage time left, and Brazil going to go down to another defeat at the hands of the French. Beaten them since 1992, the game that Laurent Blanc played in. France will be staying at number 19 in those FIFA rankings for much longer, Robbie, if they keep on beating teams like England and Brazil.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a slow building process now for Laurent Blanc. Confidence will be getting better. They enjoy playing here at Stade de France in Paris, I'm sure.
The switch here sees the man from Dynamo Kiev in the Ukraine coming on, Andrei. He made his debut in New Jersey against the US back in August. No trouble to Lloris.
Well, Andrei is a forward. It looks like from his position right here, he's going to play up front with Hulk and just have a little go for the last few minutes now. Brazil maybe put a few more direct balls up to these two and see if they can combine or make something happen for them going forward.
Cabedal. Touch from Gamero. Get things restarted for the French. Certainly anxious for more from France. They like what they've seen. They don't want them backpedaling at all. This is Hulk. Going to put them on the back foot. Lucas. Well, Hulk is through. Oh, and a miss control from Hulk, where he would have been in. The flag stayed down. Hugo Lloris with some sharp goalkeeping. And what an opportunity here for the big man.
Well, all over the place, France here. Some people are playing up, some are dropping back. Failed to control the ball, then it's a little late. The challenger Lloris, but what a chance for Brazil late on here. Good little through ball into Hulk. And what a chance it was, and just getting a little lazy maybe at the back. Rami had pushed forward, Bakary hadn't. They got caught out with the offside trap.
And just for a fleeting moment, Hulk was clean through. And had the opportunity to level matters. His touch deserted him.
Well, we talked about Carlo Ancelotti earlier, Adrian, praying that David Luiz is going to be okay. Arsene Wenger now will be extremely worried. And Sagna goes to the ground here in a collision with Andre Santos, a left back. Let's just see if there's any twist or anything noticeable there. Right ankle, maybe the knee.
He got up initially, didn't he, and then went back down. Food for thought for Robinho. Blanc. He's just seconds away from his 5th consecutive victory and the biggest yet in his short tenure. Menezes' side are heading in the opposite direction, it seems. Hulk again. A long, determined run across from Adil Rami. A sliding challenge to boot.
And he's back on. Bakary Sagna. Diaby just for the moment was playing it right back. But Sagna seems okay. Running around again.
Pushing it forward. Mexes has won nearly everything in the air that he's had to. Now a chance for a late counter-attack. Loic Remy. Almost his first touch of the ball this, up against David Luiz. Remy has the beating of him. Well, he tried to turn provider. Squared it across the face of goal.
He did very well to get past David Luiz on the outside there. Again, does everything right. Gamero just a little late coming in for this ball. That's where Loic Remy's at his best when he's dribbling, running at defenders right in that penalty box area. It's a little slow, didn't he, on the turn there, Luiz?
Gamero. There's 3 to cope with. Just about do it. 3 minutes of stoppage time have been played. And the referee signals that France have continued their dominance over Brazil. Another victory here for the French. It's now 6 games unbeaten against Brazil. And 2 sides at a crossroads after World Cup failure. Seem to be heading in different directions at the moment, Robert.
Yeah, I mean, Hernan's challenge, the crazy challenge, obviously was the big defining moment of the game. Up to that point, Brazil were in charge, but then, and all credit to France, they came on very strong in the second half, dominated and deserved to win the match.
Karim Benzema's goal, the difference here at the Stade de France. Stay with us, we'll be back to wrap things up in just a few moments. France 1, Brazil 0, our final score. Final score at the Stade de France, France 1, Brazil 0. Karim Benzema's goal early on the second half, the decider. Perhaps the defining moment, though, the sending off of Hernandez. Let's look back at the key moments of the game. 9 minutes in, and the first chance of the night for Karim Benzema, Robbie.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, they really should have done better there. Great ball from Gorkov, but you've got to hit the target and work Julio Cesar in that situation.
Now, Robinho, a fairly quiet night. This was his first meaningful effort on goal.
I guess when you look back at the chances for Brazil, not too many, and a couple of shots from distance over the top. Other than that, it was fairly dominated by Benzema. Here's the big moment of the game, really. Hernandez, not this type of player at all. A crazy high foot challenge into the chest of Karim Benzema. Dangerous play. I don't want to see a player get sent off in a friendly game. And what can you do about that if you're the referee? That really is not acceptable. Again, gets away from Lucas here, Benzema. I mean, that's crazy. Really is.
Yeah, echoes of the World Cup final, wasn't it? And Nigel de Jong. But Hernandez was gone. Brazil had to defend with 10 men. And we're always going to be on the back foot in the second half. This was Benzema with a lot of time and space to bring it down.
Yeah, bad defending that time. David Luiz and Thiago Silva both caught underneath the ball as a cross went behind them. Should have scored Benzema.
A lot of joy for France down the right-hand side in the second half, and indeed it was there the goal originated from. This was after Benzema's header had been palmed away. And France were already a goal up at this stage. Benzema having scored, and he could have added 2 more.
Well, yeah, I mean, even with a chance in the first half, it could have been 4 goals. 4 real chances for Karim Benzema.
But then the chance late on for Brazil. Hulk somehow failing to control. He would have been clean in, Robert.
He would have been. It just was a little bit too close to his feet. He couldn't adjust his feet to control the ball and move it into his stride, into his path. But that was a great chance for Brazil at the death.
This is the road ahead for France. It'll be Luxembourg up next. These are European qualification games in the most part. Some friendlies in there as well. For Brazil, they have a date with the Dutch, don't they, in June, and then it's the Copa America. Venezuela, Paraguay and Ecuador are their games. So they also have a friendly against Germany booked for August the 10th. Now let's take you to Dortmund. Germany against Italy, a reprise of the semi-final of the 2006 World Cup. Different sort of result, though. This was Miroslav Klose giving the Germans the lead.
Yeah, you might not see a better goal all day, by the way. Lovely build-up play. Özil involved, Muller involved, closer to stick the ball in the back of the net with a clever bit of movement.
But then Giuseppe Rossi has been on fire for Villarreal, firing Italy level inside the final 10 minutes.
Well, another player I think maybe should have been involved in the World Cup with Italy. Fantastic form at the moment in Spain.
Denmark against England in Copenhagen. Denmark very quickly in front. Fire at the head of someone who plays in England, Daniel Agger.
What a good header it was, wasn't it? From a difficult angle, across the face of Joe Hart into the corner.
Darren Bent, though, some big money move in the English Premier League. Was on hand to tap in the equaliser just 2 minutes later.
That's why he's in the team, Bent, to get the simple tap-ins. Walcott with good work down the right-hand side. Again, Ben Johnson steaming forward here. Ashley Young it is, the Villa man, to slot it coolly past Sorensen. 2-1 England.
Good day for Aston Villa, wasn't it? England 2, Denmark 1. And finally we go to Eindhoven, where the Dutch were playing Austria. This is pretty much all the brilliant orange, and about a brilliant goal, Wesley Sneijder.
Well, maybe we will see a better goal than Klose's goal for Germany. Fantastic individual play from Wesley Sneijder.
Huntelaar from close range, nodding them 2 in front early in the second half. And then, to make matters worse for Austria, penalty conceded rather needlessly. Dirk Couch burying it from 12 yards out. It was a late reprise for Austria, but 3-1 the final score there. And then the goal that we didn't show you earlier, Karim Benzema. The 54th minute, this is the winner at the Stade de France.
Jeremy Menet was the player, though. Put it on a plate, didn't he? Fantastic run from Menet in between 2 players. And Benzema with an easy tap-in.
We invite you to join us on Saturday. Ian Dark and Steve McManaman will have the call. It's Arsenal against Wolves from the Barclays Premier League. Not to be missed from the Emirates Stadium. But hope you enjoyed our coverage today. It was a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sport. Don't forget our website, espnsoccernet.com. For Robbie Mustoe and all our crew working today's game, I'm Adrian Healy. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. We'll talk to you next time.